Jeez Louise. All right. That was tough. That was really tough. Lots of technical difficulties. I don't know. But we're back after all that. It was kind of chopping up on my end, so let's just review real quick. Your first Shakespeare, you said you packed a lot into a little time for your line?
Yes, one of the characters with the most lines in the show. However, he only appeared in 2 scenes.
Right. And you got to hang out a lot with Austin, right?
Yeah, we just had to entertain ourselves for like 2 hours after we were on stage.
Yeah, Shakespeare's aren't short. I do know that. So, yeah, if you die in the first act out of the 5, you got some time to wait.
That's true.
So then, after Charlie Brown, after your first Shakespeare, Richard II, what was next after
that? After that, in the fall of the next school year, the fall of senior year, was My Fair Lady, which I was cast as Freddie Eynsford Hill in.
Yeah.
Who pretty much all he does is sing this incredible song called On the Street Where You Live. In fact, he literally sings it twice in the show.
Wow.
It's just that good.
You know, me and Austin, we often talk about the best parts in the shows. We call them Freddie Eynsford Hills. You know, you come on, you sing the best song in the show, and that's the best role in the show. Always.
I mean, yeah. It's a really an easy role. You can pull off the part if you can pull off the song, because you don't really have that much character to you. Like, you're literally just a love interest that has no characteristics at all, really. You just have to be able to sing the song well, and people love you.
Yep. But what was it like working on My Fair Lady? Like you said, just kind of probably a shorter rehearsal process. Explain it to me.
Well, that one it was good because I got to focus very intensely on one thing, and it was that song.
Right.
You know? So I got to practice it a lot. You know, I was able to focus my attention just on one thing and making it as good as possible.
Right. Yeah. It was really good. I was really impressed with you on that show. That's one of my favorite songs. You definitely did it justice. I can say that. So then, what was your favorite line in that show?
Favorite line? That's it. When at the beginning, the verse to On the Street Where You Live, when I say, then the moment she shouted, "Move your blooming."
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
What Elijah said.
At
that part's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you mentioned how your aunt bit off the spoon, it's a perfect song. It really is.
That's a beautiful verse.
Yeah. And not a lot of people know it. It's like a little hidden gem. Before On the Street Where You Live, the little verse, perfect.
Yes.
So then after that, was that She Loves Me?
Yes, it was. She Loves Me was a huge deal, really, for me. That's something that me, Austin, Tess, and a bunch of other people that were involved had been talking about for almost a whole year, since January of that year. Austin got the idea that he wanted to try and put that show on if he was president. And when it all worked out that he was, we just got to planning, and we really tried to take it into our hands to make it the best show possible.
Right.
And they did really remarkable work. Austin was a wonderful director, tested some incredible choreography for us. And yeah, he just got a great cast together to put together something that was really our own, it was incredibly special.
What was it like finally being the role with all the lines? What was it like?
That was, I'm just really appreciative for Austin for giving me the opportunity to have a lead role, in a show. That was something really special to me. Especially in a show that I enjoy as much as She Loves Me. Whenever he fell in love with the songs, I fell in love with the character of George Novak. Yeah, it was really great and a real treat to be able to do that in high school.
Right. You mentioned from My Fair Lady, you got to focus all your time on this one song. How did you spread out the love for She Loves Me to all
that
these
was
songs
something,
and scenes?
Yes, that is something that I had to figure out myself while rehearsing on it. It was something I had never experienced before. And, you know, in Richard II, I was only in 2 scenes. In My Fair Lady, I only sang 1 song. But now George Novak is a bit of a different deal. Really, it just required more attention and care of me in rehearsal. You know, I was like, I kind of realized, all right, now you are like the male lead in this show. You have to, like, if you're not trying hard, other people might not. You know, like you carry a certain weight whenever you're a lead in a role, and it's a big responsibility. You know, if you have to care a lot. And I think I was able to be a good lead in that show. Not only performing well, but encouraging others to be good too.
Yeah, I loved you in that show. You were an absolute natural as George. It was great. So, what was your favorite line in that show? You had a favorite?
Favorite line? Let's see. Well, I'll call it a favorite scene. I'll say the scene with George and Amalia whenever he almost accidentally gives away that he knows that he is dear friend, and he has to it's when they're in Amalia's house when she's sick, and he has to come up with all these fake stories about how dear friend wrote her something and blah blah blah.
Right.
And it's really entertaining for me, especially to do it. It was really fun. Yeah,
I was really happy about that show because I got to share the stage with you. I never had that opportunity before.
That is another wonder of that show. The guy who had been ushering me to join Genesians the whole time, I finally got to be in a show with him.
I know. And I got to yell at you and almost fire you too early. And I was talking with Austin. I was like, was this a performance or a rehearsal? He said it was a performance when Noah Flynn forgot to bring the music box on.
Oh, man, yeah.
Oh, my. And I just remember how vividly. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I would hear all kind of past Genesians talk about shows where stuff would go wrong. People would forget to bring stuff out on stage. People would just screw up something, and then they would find their way out of it, and it would work out totally fine. And I never really got to experience that until I was, you know, a big role on stage the whole time, because then I get to see everything that happens, really. And so when stuff like that happens and we pull it off, we figure it out, we're kind of like freaking out internally on stage, but we end up figuring it out. It all goes fine. That's awesome. That's really incredible.
And I don't know how or when I realized I was firing you too early or how I saved it, but we managed to do it. But it's the little things like that make it so fun, you know. Like you do it every night. It's live. There's an audience. That's the beauty of it.
Yep. Totally.
And then you were John Proctor in the Crucible. It's been postponed, perhaps canceled. But what was that rehearsal process like?
I was very unsure about the Crucible when I started. You know, I wasn't terribly familiar with the story of the characters. I had never read it. I know some people have read it in high school. It's prescribed reading at some schools, but I didn't know much. But after being cast as Proctor, I really enjoyed that character. I think more so than any theater-related thing I had done before. John Proctor is an incredibly deep character, and it is still, like, I consider myself still working on it because we have still been rehearsing and keeping abreast for whatever manifestation we're going to present the show, you know, whether it be online, however that happens. But it's a really deep character to study. There's a lot to him, and that's very rewarding. Right.
So then along the lines of John Proctor, that was like your first true drama you were going to be a part of, right?
Yes.
how did you approach the two different genres differently?
Well, in many ways, I feel like doing a drama is harder, perhaps just because I hadn't really done one before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very different in figuring out how to keep a scene moving. Because in comedies, you keep the momentum and the energy going, usually with laughter or something like that, you know? However, laughter doesn't very much exist in the Crucible. So you have to keep energy moving in different ways. It's all about like the delivery of very important lines, you know, the poignant words in the lines that you're saying, bringing those out. That's what keeps energy going.
Right,
you know?
right.
It's a lot different.
Yeah, I think it's really insightful as well. You're talking about to keep the energy, because a lot of times if a show has no energy, it's just so boring. And
it's people reciting lines, and then, you know, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it being a drama doesn't mean it's boring. It's just, you're right, to keep the energy in a different manner. And that kind of touches on a bigger point. High school theater is a lot about learning experiences. What do you think is the most important thing you've learned from your high school theater experience?
Well, just about being exposed to everything. I mean, I was only in the club for 2 years, and I got to do vastly different things. I was in a relatively modern show. Well, it's actually, they all come from about the same time, but a show like Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, which is kind of like you're acting, all the characters are children. And then getting to do Shakespeare, which is several hundred years old. Totally different kind of skill set needed for that. Then My Fair Lady, which is a classic. Then a show like She Loves Me, which is a little niche. Not everybody knows about it, but it's a wonderful show. Then getting to do The Crucible, which is vastly different from anything else that I've said before. So in 2 years, I've got to do so many different things, and I'm very much appreciative for the players for allowing me to learn so much in just 2 years.
Right. I was talking to Austin before you, and he said when he did Death of a Salesman, he said he felt like he was doing like a bad John Malkovich impersonation as Biff. So what character did you feel you made your own the most? Which character felt like you were most bringing yourself into?
So I'd say George Novak in She Loves Me. I would study the Zachary Levi performance of the 2016 Broadway revival of the show. And there was a lot of stuff that he did quite often. Like he would do like these little like goofy sounds and facial expressions. And I didn't think that was really me. You know, I mean, I guess I was kind of goofy as George Novak, but I realized that I couldn't really pull off all the Zach Levi stuff exactly how he did. So I had to kind of try to be funny in my own way. In many ways, I tried to just be myself on stage and deliver the lines as Noah Vicknair would just say them. You know?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's a hard thing to learn too. I remember the only way I could do it earlier in my career, I could not see the show if I wanted to be myself on stage. I could not see a previous performance because I'd find myself just mimicking what they'd do. If I saw Into the Woods, I'd mimic what Chip Zien did. Or if I saw, you know, a Secret Garden, I'd just be doing what Robert Westenberg did. So I tried to avoid watching it just to make it truly my own.
For all the shows this year, I did do a lot of, I tried to do a lot of character study, like watching several performances. I watched a bunch of different performances of She Loves Me. I watched many different performances, especially of The Crucible, just to figure out how to make that flow and get it going. Yeah, I tried to find a lot of stuff to mimic.
Right. And I'm not saying it's bad at all to watch production. I'm just saying early in my career, that's what I did. Now I actually find myself trying to see what other casts did that were really funny, what worked here, what doesn't work, what maybe I can implement. It's not a bad thing at all. I'm just saying that's what I did early in my career. So then, you know, that was the last show was The Crucible. Technically, the last show you performed was She Loves Me. One of the reasons I did this is I wanted to provide kind of closure to some of the seniors, because you didn't really get your final circle. So what would you like to say to some of the other seniors and other Genesians?
To my fellow Genesians, oftentimes, like, what I do in circles is I usually tell the story of my time at Genesians as it evolves, just because I feel like I came from sort of like an outside place. I had never done theater before. And I feel like if people hear that, it might inspire them to try new things and stuff like that. 'Cause it can be really great if you try new things. In particular to younger Genesians who still have plenty of time in the club. If you have an idea or a song that you're working on or anything theater related, show Esh, like, just bring it up to her and say, hey, I'm working on this. I want to do this. Hey, can you watch me sing this song? Because one, she will definitely watch you. She will definitely listen to you sing. She will definitely watch you do your scene, and she'll be incredibly supportive of it. And, that's what I did when I was discovering new songs in musical theater and I was beginning to work on singing them. I would go to show her, and before I showed her, I would be kind of like timid about it. I wasn't totally sure if I was good or not, but then, when I show her, it makes me much more comfortable as a performer. It makes me much more comfortable on the Genesian stage, and she gives a lot of great advice to help you get better.
Yeah, I really agree. She's so supportive, and even if you're bad, she's going to encourage you to get better. And, if you go from being bad to okay and then okay to good, she's really helped you along this process by just being encouraging. And that's really a big part. And then as we're talking, I kind of realized we forgot you did one more show there. You did Friends. How was that? What was that like?
Oh, yeah, man. Getting to meet Chandler, Bing, and Friends. That was really fun. Actually, I had never seen the show before we had performed that episode of Friends. And then after doing the performance, I got big into Friends and I started binging it.
That's awesome. So,
yeah.
So, wow. So did you see the episode before you performed it, or?
Yes. Yeah. That was another thing I studied very much. I watched that episode over and over and over.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I got Emily let me come sit in on a rehearsal. I got to give a few notes, and that was fun. I remember seeing that. It was really fun. There was another one act that year, wasn't there? Were you also in that one?
Oh yes, there was also. It was Friends and Friends versus This Is a Test, which was fun. It was a little short character. Not a short character, but he was in the show for a time. Who comes in while the other students are taking a test, and the teacher loves me. I have like a scholarship to play football at some college. He's like, yeah, you didn't even take the test and you're kind of stupid, but A+. That was fun.
That's awesome. Speaking of college and scholarships, what's next for Noah Vicknair?
Noah Vicknair will be attending Loyola University to be a jazz studies major. I'm playing guitar there. And I'm proud to announce that I have a full scholarship there to study at Loyola.
Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
So, wow, we get to hang out even some more. You'll just be right down the road. Are you going to be staying in a dorm, or are you staying at your house?
I'm going to be staying on campus whenever I am able to, with the whole situation.
Yep. Good. No more street sleep. So you said what you wanted to say to the other seniors. Now I'm just going to ask you, what's your all-time favorite? I know you said for She Loves Me what your favorite scene was, but in every show you were in, ever, I need one favorite line. Just one favorite line.
One favorite line. Oh, man. Favorite line. Money. Who cares about money? This is art, you blockhead. This is me. I'm playing great music, and playing great music is an art. You hear me? Art.
That's a great line. That really is.
Yes.
Well, Noah, I wish you the best. Thank you so much for dropping by to do an interview. Like I said, you rose from just joining the club in your first year. You were vice president in your senior year. You know, I want to touch on that real quick. We were saying goodbye, but vice president can very easily be an unsung role. It can be something that people don't even mention or know. But compared to some of the other vice presidents, I feel like you've really made it your own, and like people know that you're vice president. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, was there something proud you felt like you accomplished this year as vice president, or you just tried to lead by example?
I suppose what I thought my job was to kind of be a collaborator with the president, Austin, kind of work out ideas, stuff to do during the year, and to just contribute to ideas. But one thing I realized this year is that the position doesn't really matter in Genesians, not to diminish the position. I just want to make everyone know that if you have an idea, like, let it be heard. Like if you're not on the board or anything like that, if you have an idea, something you want to change, something you want to make happen, let it know, let people know, because there's nothing really stopping you from making it happen if it's a great idea, Yeah,
that's totally correct. We'll hear anything and we'll support a lot of things. Not everything, but a lot of things. Well, Noah, I wish you the best. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, D. Hey, thank you so much for doing this.
No problem. Take care.